When Ray Donovan said he wanted to forgive the gang members who murdered his teenage son, his wife Violet screamed with rage. Thanks to a restorative justice program, that anger turned to forgiveness.
Recently, the couple met two of Chris's killers and have helped them turn away from crime. They've even supported one in looking for a job. And Ray and Violet Donovan join us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
To you both. How were you able, I mean, the situation you found yourselves in was unimaginable for most people, or represents their worst fears. Your son brutally murdered by a gang who are high on drugs, and yet within what, a matter of hours, Ray, you decided that you were going to somehow forgive the killers. How did you manage to reach that conclusion so quickly?
Well, I realised in the hospital that night that they didn't set out to kill Chris that night. You know, we don't blame them. We always blame the drug dealers for selling the drugs, and the people that bought them alcohol that night. They're the real murderers. It wasn't the boys' fault. Well, they had the choice to take the drink and the drug, but those people weren't selling them. My son would still be alive.
Violet, the attack happened in 2001, didn't it? And although your husband decided that the way forward, the way to deal with the pain might be to forgive, you felt differently at the time.
I was just riding on all of that rage and the anger and the disbelief of what they'd done, and I wanted to hurt them so much. I didn't realise it's like drinking a cup of poison and you think you're poisoning them, but you're actually poisoning yourself with all of that rage. And it took me about a year to get my head around what Ray had said and the reasons why he'd said it. And I realised it was the right thing to do for me personally, and forgiveness is a personal thing.
How did you set about then making contact with the boys and meeting them?
Well, it was very strange. I got a phone call from a local church saying one of the boys' wives wants to meet with us as he's having nightmares in prison. When I rang Vi up, she went, "He wants to have my own nightmares, you know?" And so we met this girl, his wife, and we got in touch with probation, and everything went well until the very last minute, and she rang us up and said, "He don't want to meet you." And so we left it go at that. And then a couple of years ago, we met by a lady called Sean West from YME, and she was telling us how they arranged for victims to meet their offenders. And she set it up for us, and within a few months, it was all started going again. And they got this company, well, a charity called CALM, Confidential and Local Mediation, and they came along, and then what they did, it actually made us look at the boys as human beings and not as offenders, because all we know about them is what the police told us, and they started telling us what they're like, didn't they?
Absolutely.
And we realised then, and you don't just meet. It takes months and months of planning and months of questions. And then when you do meet, it's in such a relaxed atmosphere, you can't believe it.
So Violet, describe that moment when you first met the first member of the gang, and it has to be said, what they did to your son was particularly brutal.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we never got a voice in court. We weren't asked anything in the whole of the court case in the Old Bailey, and I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why our sons. I wanted to know, what were you doing, taking all those drugs and you know, what were you thinking of? What's going on there? And so I knew that was the only way to get that answers. I was never going to get it, and I wanted the truth. We never got the truth in court. So to go in that room, we sat outside in the car thinking, shall we do this? We've had months of mentoring. Should we really? And it was nerve-wracking, but we needed those answers, so we had to go and do this. We went and did this, and he walked in, and I still saw the little boy, although he was 15 when he went in prison, the youngest, 25 now. He just looked like a little boy to me. 3
young men convicted of the murder of your son. One of them you've been helping to find a job?
Yeah. He's now working with a great charity. He's an artist, and I got him a job with this charity. And then from what I've heard, we don't go near him. You know, we're not the best of friends, but from what I've heard, he's doing well.
He cried and he said, I was a 15-year-old coward and I killed your son, and we got the truth. And he was able to tell us how he felt, and we were able to tell him. And that's right, isn't it? The victims are able to really say, and victims' families, what they feel.
But the greatest thing was, he said to us, for the first 2 years in prison, I denied having anything to do with Chris's murder. I went on a restorative justice program, victim awareness course, And on that course, I couldn't get Chris out of my head and out of my heart. I'm a 15-year-old coward. I murdered your son and I'm sorry. And we waited 11 years to hear that.
And now you take your message, your philosophy, if you like, to schools and to other places.
Restorative Justice.
We go to schools, youth offending teams users, probation users, police users. We go everywhere we can.
And in essence, what do you say?
Well, we teach them about restorative justice, because there's a lot of schools out there who says we've got no problems in our school. They won't admit they've got problems with gangs, with bullying. But we got a school down by us, we won't give its name, but it's a grammar school, and the headmaster rang and said, my boys have got more education, no common sense, can you come and talk to them? And that's what we need to get the message into schools.
Victim awareness needs to go into schools, it needs to go into prisons. We know that even on restorative justice programmes in prison,
It works.
it works. It's 28%
Reduction in crime.
reoffending. So we know that works.
Well, we appreciate you coming in to talk to us today. Ray and Violet, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.